Hi-ho, Eric.
Hey, Chris.
Retrograde Amnesia is a member of the Greenlit Podcast Network, a coalition of creator-owned podcasts focused on video gaming, entertainment, and pop culture. Go to greenlitpodcast.com to find out about all the great shows on the network. Also, Eric, we have a Patreon page.
Hi-ho?
Hi-ho. You can visit that Patreon page at patreon.com/retroam. Hi-ho.
Rally-ho.
Remove the hi-ho. Also, Eric, would you like to hear some hot sounds that I've recorded?
Peepaw.
Welcome to Retrograde Amnesia, a comprehensive podcast where we discuss classic JRPGs, chapter by chapter, beat by beat. In this series, we are covering Chrono Cross. This time, the king of all skeletons takes his revenge on those who have wronged him. Never mind, I made that up. That's my skelly headcanon. My name is Chris. I'm joined tonight by Eric. Hey, Eric.
Hey, Chris, what's up? I just had an idea just now.
Okay.
You know that fucking 30-foot skeleton Home Depot sells?
Yeah.
What if we buy that with Patreon funds and dress it up like Skelly and put it in your front yard?
Maybe next year we can do that.
Okay, cool.
As long as we can do some sort of pre-recorded thing where when someone walks by, it goes nyak, 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 nyak.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, that's the move right there, I think. We are also joined tonight by the RealNet, a collective of patrons who are listening to us record live. You too can join the conversation at patreon.com/retroam.
We are also joined by the Fakehead, our post-production AI companion who we've modified to no longer think in binary.
Oh, cool. Is that true?
Initializing Fakehead.
Of course it's true, you unimaginative wanker.
Complex thoughts
Wow.
are now capable.
You've been working on
She's
the
no
Fakehead.
longer producing harsh judgment in explicit tones.
Oh, well, I might miss that version of the Fakehead, but we'll see how it works out.
It's going to break.
Yeah.
It didn't even do anything. All that it changed is I can now experience synesthesia and I wish I could use a vibrator.
So, Eric, it's been a month since we've actually recorded, but only 1 week since people have heard the podcast. But I do feel like it's a good point in time in the story to sort of take inventory of what the hell's going on right now.
Yeah, that's good. Let's do that.
We've gained the knowledge of Radius, who has sort of guided us towards Fort Dragonia.
So not a full diameter, but a radius.
Yes, just a bit. We've got to stop Lynx and Viper from getting the frozen flame. But the interesting thing about this, and why I brought this up, is it feels like your character motivations and my character motivations are a little bit different based on the paths we have chosen.
I'm doing it for a sweet lady.
Yeah, you're doing it for a sweet lady, and kind of because she commands it. Mm-hmm. Although there's some relevance of Surge to this plot, you're mainly tagging along with Kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me, I am just driven by the motive of the fact that I saw that fucking ominous crystal ball thing on Viper's desk.
And plus, a cat man called you a Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, it's weird, and I know all about Chrono Trigger. Also, I kind of have some of the motivation for my party because Glenn is worried about the dubious nature of the Acacia Dragoons and their recent maneuvers.
Well, Glenn's not proven a reliable source of intelligent discourse, so
That's
I'm not
true,
entirely
but
sure.
he has a couple of good moments in the upcoming scenes, so I'm holding out for Glenn.
I have a question for you, Chris.
Yes.
I just thought of it. So I felt like in our Xenogears podcast, we had room to talk about lore and interiority of the characters, whereas I feel like so far in Chrono Cross, everybody is very surface, baseline motivation, frozen flame, Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, that's true, and I think we're going to get some more hints about how the character motivations have come together, but they're all still very, very surface level.
I'm just working on a theory that any game with a silent protagonist has struggles to break the surface.
Yeah, are we going to, by the time we get done with this podcast, are we going to be like all fuck silent protagonists?
I'm leaning that way so
Okay.
far, maybe.
All right,
Not necessarily fuck, but I prefer my protagonist to have motivation that I can build myself upon and infuse with, not completely inject myself into.
Yeah, I agree.
The award-winning Go Nintendo podcast covers the latest Nintendo news while also diving into what's hot in pop culture, music trivia, hands-on impressions, and so much more. Hopefully we can make you laugh, too. You'll find new episodes of the Go Nintendo podcast on the Greenlit Podcast Network every single week.
Are you ready to get started, Eric? We're headed to a new chapter.
Yes, please.
Yes, the chapter title is From Pirate Ship to Ghost Ship.
I was born on a pirate ship.
Yes. What's that from?
When you hold your tongue and say it, it sounds like I was born on a pile of shit.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Great. Good job, 4th grade.
I would bet both of you were born on piles of shit.
So, Eric, is the subtitle The Hidden Echoes of Lost Pirates an unfortunate occasion for sailors or a mariner's worst nightmare?
More like unfortunate occasions for sailors, my boy, right?
Yeah.
Because the dragons are all fucked.
Yeah, good job.
Sailor's worst nightmare, was that one of them?
A mariner's worst nightmare.
Mariner's worst nightmare. Seattle Mariner's worst nightmare. Ken Griffey Jr. leaves and comes back one day.
Ding, ding. You got
Really?
it.
Yes.
Yeah, congratulations.
Cool.
I think you're on a heater here, Eric. You've
Thank
gotten
you.
a lot of them. So.
The big unit inspires me.
Yeah. So we're told to go to Fort Dragonia. I think we've been warned about Ghost in the Ocean, which was kind of a weird non sequitur from Radius when we last met. So we have to head into the fog.
Yes, that's the actual command. You're on the world map, and the option is head into the fog. We don't get music, Chris. We get waves. The sound of an idling ocean.
Yes, and it's a great shot of a huge ship covered by a foggy mist. And there are giant... Are those things called oars?
I think they're called oars. They're cutting through the seawater.
Yeah, when they're that big, I guess I was wondering if they're still called oars. But those things are polygonal, and they're moving around.
What's interesting is we go in this ship, and I don't see anyone turning those things.
Kind of a skeleton crew.
Oh, nice.
Get it?
You're right. There are some later.
Yeah.
My bad.
So, anyway.
Can you enslave skeletons?
Can you? Well, we have. We have Skelly.
Yeah, there's 4 of these massive oars, though.
Yeah. So in my case, Glenn and Guile seem to know that this is the ghost ship because I guess they've heard of it. They are worldly men.
Yeah, they've seen this shit before.
The group agrees that we cannot navigate in this fog in this shitty-ass matcha korcha boat, so we go aboard. Seems like a bad plan to just go aboard this ship that you know is a ghost ship, but they do it anyway.
It's interesting. There's a neat transparency effect on the water, but the ground texture is completely static.
Yeah.
In my observation of our boat is a rickety cricket-ass boat approaching this massive ship.
Right.
Hey, Lassie, what are you doing here? Timmy's in a well. Sequelcast 2 and Friends is a podcast looking at movies in a franchise, one film at a time, like Harry Potter, Hellraiser, and The Hobbit. And sometimes the hosts talk about video games and TV as well. And now it's part of the Greenlit Podcast Network. Oh, Lassie, we don't need to rescue Timmy. He likes the well enough, I guess. Darth Vader is Luke's father. Lassie, I told you to lay off the spoilers.
So then we go to the S Invincible.
Yes, that is what this thing is called.
Wave music continues.
Indeed. About 9 pirates begin to approach us from different parts of the ship. They're all like hard walking at us very slowly and glaring at us as they kind of close in. These are not skeletons or ghosts. These are actual pirates.
Well, it's kind of weird because Kid wonders if this is really a ghost ship because we get up there, we climb like to the top deck, and then there's no one here. What kind of boat has no one here?
So
they're also all holding cutlasses as they approach.
And who do you have besides Kid?
Korcha.
Korcha, okay, cool.
I left him behind later, but for now, the thong boy with the fishing pole is my best boy.
Okay, good job. So eventually these guys say, make way for Captain Fargo. And it sounds like somebody hits a gong or something when Fargo comes out.
Yes, they do.
Which is kind
I
of
may
weird.
have captured that already.
Yes. So Fargo comes out, and I would describe Fargo as a mustachioed man with long black hair tied behind his head. Of course, this guy has a pirate accent, and he assumes that we are Lynx's subordinates, and he asks us our intent.
Chris, you missed one key signifier.
Oh.
I mean, it's the outrageous black mustache, the grain temples, the insanely long eyebrows, the black ponytail, and the black sleeveless shirt or vest. But he also has black cargo shorts.
Oh, God, yeah, I didn't I was only, when I was writing the description, I was only focusing on his portrait.
Is there such a thing as a cargo shorts pirate?
Well, there is now. Fargo shorts.
Okay, Fargo shorts. God damn it. Oh, that's good. So the symbol, do you think that is an effect for presentation, or is there an actual assigned position on this ship to hit the symbol?
Oh, do you mean the gong?
Yeah. Like, is somebody in like the crow's nest just hitting that whenever Fargo comes out? Is that like his egomaniacal like thing that he needs?
This is the conversation of like when Twin Peaks, there's an episode of Twin Peaks where Audrey comes in and turns the jukebox on.
Starts dancing.
And it's just
diegetic.
But it's just the soundtrack to the show. She doesn't actually play a song. So is this part of the soundtrack to the game, or is the gong literally happening? I think it's actually happening because they seem to have a flair for the dramatic. At least Fargo does himself.
They're pirates.
Yeah.
The first thing he says to us, "Arg, you seem to be a bit young for one of Lynx's subordinates." Oh God, he thinks we're with Lynx. Why wouldn't he? Because there's only 6 characters in this world.
Yeah.
Then he says, who cares? Kid, in my case, asks what he wants, and Fargo replies that depends on our intentions. Our party is confused. But a pirate comes forward and tells us not to play stupid. They know we're trying to get to Mount Pire. They have seen General Viper and Lynx's ships anchored nearby. They think we're trying to deliver them a message. Chris, are we couriers? Or is the message our knives?
We speak with our fists.
So what was your party's reaction to this accusation?
It was about the same.
Well, Kid says it's a load of bull. Did you get load of bull?
I didn't get load of bull.
So we are, of course, in fact, out to get Lynx.
Yes.
Kid threatens to kick Fargo's ass to the moons if he gets in our way. Fargo asks if we're serious and demands an explanation. It fades to black, then fades back in. What happens when that happens, Chris?
Yeah, that's a weird thing because Fargo asked us to explain our intent and wants to know the story, and it seemed to me like Serge was just explaining the "Hi, I'm a dead kid" story.
Yeah, no. Whenever it fades to black,
Yeah.
Serge is telling his life story to somebody.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that's what's happening right here. And the weird thing is that Fargo just seems to believe us.
That Serge just recounted the life story of his past 3 days?
Yes, he's like I guess Fargo knows more about this world than he's letting on. Something that's happening a lot in this podcast. I mean, a lot in this game is that people tend to believe Serge in the group when he talks about him being from another world.
No one calls bull. It's like no one in this
Yeah.
world can lie with any kind of skill. Like they all have truth serum.
It's very strange. Fargo thinks our pursuit of Lynx and Viper is too risky.
He says Lynx is an incarnation of death.
Yes, and that's a fair take actually for Fargo. It's like what we're doing right now is very risky. We're going up against a whole army and this, Catman. But yes, he calls him a cold-blooded monster, an incarnation of death. And Fargo mentions that he has had several encounters with Lynx. That was a long time ago, but since then they've had to disguise themselves as this ghost ship.
So what is this ghost ship? Because the fog is not natural, and the only implication of ghost ship is there's just no one on deck.
I don't think that the lore here is consistent with it.
Okay.
Because, and maybe we'll get this down the road, but I don't really know what faction Fargo has loyalty to, and I don't know why he would have clashed with Lynx.
Pirates have loyalty to anyone other than pirates, Chris.
That's true. They're men of the sea. You're right.
Next question. Fargo said they had an encounter with Lynx a long time ago.
Mhm.
How long is a long time ago?
God.
Today is today and also yesterday.
It feels like, just based on what we learn a little bit later, that Lynx has been around for a while. So I would say within the past 10 years.
Okay.
I think it's been a while.
I think in my head, Lynx is like very recent because Viper Manor turned to shit with some expediency.
That's
right?
true.
So as Fargo goes on about how dangerous Lynx is, Kid tells him to cut the crap and get to the point, and now I love Kid.
Yeah.
She constantly breaks up banal cliches people are delivering.
I think that might have been, in my case, Guile asked Fargo what he's like, what are you getting at?
Mhm.
And then
Get to the point, man.
Yeah, come on. Fargo then tells his subordinate to get the you-know-what, which is apparently just a battle gauntlet.
He wants to see if we can match up with Lynx to prove that we're not all talk.
Yes.
Someone blows a whistle.
Yeah, something like that. And we have to fight some ghosts.
It's a new battle arena. We're on the deck of the pirate ship, which continues to plow about the sea. The entire backdrop is a massive sail blowing in the wind.
Yes.
What'd you
great.
fight?
I fought some literal ghosts, those man-of-arms things.
Man of War, yeah. I
Yeah,
fought 3 of those things.
Yes.
The same headless suits of armor we fought at Viper Manor. Do we read into that, or is this just the fodder enemy for this world?
I
These
think
orcs?
I think that Fargo knows that there really is a ghost ship, and he has tamed some ghosts. They're like his Pokemon.
Is there really a ghost ship?
Yeah. I mean, we don't know that at this point.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember. I have no idea.
Yeah, there really is a ghost ship. Yeah, these things are no problem.
So you just think Fargo's captured these? My immediate question is, why are there dead men roaming about the ship?
No, I think Fargo's captured ghosts.
Okay.
Yeah. So then Fargo summons his stonky dragon parrot, which of course it's named Polly.
There's a squawking noise up in the crow's nest that reveals this thing.
His head has a Woody Woodpecker color scheme.
Fuck yeah.
And this thing has a red element. And we begin to battle it, and it packs a solid punch.
At your death place.
Yes, indeed.
That guy Polly over here has a bit of a pot belly too.
Yeah, he does. He's
Nice hooked tail.
Yeah, he's definitely had something to eat today already.
He uses a move called Flap, which
Yeah.
sends torrents of air blasts and does massive damage.
Yes, it's very tough.
Holy shit, he one-shotted Korja.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, Korcha.
Yeah.
You can get that iron armor on him yet?
I only have one everybody has, no, all my guys have iron gear, but
Oh.
Korja just keeps dying, I think, because I shouldn't have him in my party.
Oh, okay.
How many revives do you have on you?
I have one.
I have one as well, and I
Yeah.
don't think you can buy any other ones. So
Yeah,
when someone bites it, I'm a bit of a loss here.
Yeah.
Usually run away and then try again is a better strat.
That works. At least you can do that in this game. So I did something to sort of try to exploit the systems here a little bit.
Yeah.
So I used, I had Guile, Glenn, and Surge here. After I unloaded all of Guile's black abilities, because I have a lot of black elements on him, because that's his innate, I used Turn Black on Poly so that I could exploit Surge's setup, which is mostly white elements. So once I use turn black, I thought it doesn't actually completely turn him into a black element. He becomes both black and red.
I thought turn black benefited your black element users because it would enhance their power, but it actually turns the other, turns the enemy black?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really good,
I haven't
especially...
used any of those yet.
It's really good, especially for Surge.
I'm finding my turns to be precious, like I don't want to waste any of them.
Yeah, and that's actually brings me to my next point. We haven't really talked about stamina in this game.
Yeah.
Have you noticed how your stamina ticks down at various increments based on the attacks that you do?
You mean the elemental attacks or your...
Anything.
Yeah.
And sometimes a character will come up with a turn and he'll only have, 1 or 2 stamina. And sometimes it makes more sense from an efficiency standpoint to just defend right there and wait till he gets all 7 stamina back so he get a full chain.
Defend is underrated. I've been defending a lot recently.
Defend is actually very meaningful in this game in a way that it hasn't been in traditional turn-based games, because usually that's like, oh, well, you're wasting a turn. This is not a situation where the best offense is the best defense or whatever. I got that platitude wrong, but football, whatever.
Lakers won.
Yeah, they did. Congrats. This is the first time I really started paying attention to stamina, and I thought it actually is a really good sort of currency that you have to manage during battle.
I wonder if it's something that they came to the development process late, where they noticed combat was unbalanced, and they worked this in to kind of make it more tense.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem like it came up with the rest of the game to me. Or I could be wrong. I've never designed a video game, Chris.
Of course. Well, I mean,
So did you have any trouble with this fight?
It was a pretty tough battle, but I was able to use a bunch of white elements once I turned him black and do a lot of damage.
Surge's meteorite shower is excellent.
Yeah, really good. Upon defeat, a Poly says gya, 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 etc.
While flapping his wings at 5 frames per second.
Yeah, it's not great. And I think one of the pirates translates this for us and says that it means not bad, mateys. We'll meet again.
Will we?
Maybe.
So
I don't know.
You framed this differently. You framed this as Fargo unleashing one of their guardian pets, whereas to me this was a random monster that just happened to be fucking with them. So I thought the game was translating the bird for me as opposed to the pirate who speaks bird.
Yeah, I read it completely differently.
That's cool.
Also of note here, something that we were a little bit confused about in previous episodes. I am getting star levels for these battles. You are not.
Yes, there is a differentiation there about the game will balance itself out depending on where you are in your distinct narrative.
Yes, that's because I did not have the opportunity to travel through the home world, Hydra Marsh, and do all that stuff. So I'm caught up now.
So then after this battle, Fargo thinks that we're stronger than he expected, and his blood is boiling. He declares himself the next opponent.
Yeah.
Double boss fight.
I was excited about this because I was like, all right, that was a really good battle. I was able to exploit the systems. Now let's do it again.
Edge of Death orchestral plays.
Let's first point out that Fargo is a blue element because he's a man of the sea, right?
Right, and of course we must point out that Fargo comes up with a new hoe.
Oh, yes, he has a jolly hoe up and at him. He speaks during the battle. Kind of like the Spice Boys do.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, taunting us. Oh man, I love the hoes. The dwarves in Final Fantasy IX said rally ho. Chris, what's your favorite hoe?
Starting to like hi ho a lot.
Hi ho's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's quick too. It's just 2 syllables.
Yeah.
You can get a big haiku mileage out of that thing. So you know what I did first?
What?
Missed my first 3 attacks with Surge.
It happens. I put
That's just great.
You know how we got the sight scope from Viper Manor, or did you?
I got that and then forgot about it. Yeah.
Put that on him.
Great.
It helps a little bit.
Cool.
Not a lot, but a little bit. He does hit more often than my other guys.
I don't know that I've changed my accessories except for later when I got some anti-burn gear.
Oh, cool. So I was able to win this battle very easily because Fargo is blue, and guess what color X-Strike is?
Red?
It's red.
That's cool.
So I got the whole grid red first and then used X-Strike and did a lot of damage. It didn't completely knock him out, but it immediately got him down to his crumpled state.
Hell yeah, dude.
I was able to keep the grid completely red, and then I did a level 1 fireball with Surge. I did 100 damage with that. So that is worth it to do if you can manage it.
High magic stats will deal out unbelievable damage to people.
Yeah, especially once you've got those elements in the right order.
So I got some questions that developed in this battle, okay? So in my previous self, 18 years ago, Chrono Cross playing Teenage Ass, Fargo and Karsh, spoilers, are recruitable at some point, and they were my main go-to guys.
Yeah.
But we're facing Fargo here. And I gotta ask some questions, because his opening attack, my man's holding a sword.
Yeah.
He punches me.
Oh, weird.
I'm like, dude, you gotta use that sword.
Gotta stagger you first.
Right? He also has a strength element, which boosts his strength, but, you know, he's not very good at fighting.
He should have brought at least 2 of his friends.
When you beat him, he says, now that's smart. And the battle ends after all 3 of us take turns beating the shit out of this captain.
Yes, indeed.
Imagine all your boys are around you, right? And you're the captain, you're the most powerful pirate. And then these children from the sea, including a boy in a thong, with a fishing pole, just whoop your fucking ass.
You've stolen his pride, Eric.
Not great.
No, not good at all. At least I have a guy who's a ordained member of the Acacia Dragoons, so...
So back on deck, Fargo takes a T-bow knee and concludes that we're, quote, not bad, but keep in mind, we be pirates.
Yes.
Surge and then Korcha collapse. A pirate tells us we've been hit with jellyfish tranquilizers.
Yeah.
And us lubbers will be asleep for a while. Kid collapses last. Fargo says, well, that's that, and puts us in the hold.
Yes. We pass out. Surge has a panther dream.
CG cutscene, son.
Yes.
The panther or some large black cat is growling and then running through a jungle area. It's very quick. I think we've seen flashes of this earlier.
I think we saw it pretty early in the game. So then we wake up in what I thought was the brig, but it's actually just a utility closet.
Yeah, it's like a stock room. There's cardboard boxes, barrels, gardening equipment for some reason, a diving suit, a cog, and one of those life rings you flare overboard that you're not supposed to put in the storage area, but on the side of the boat.
Eric, do you think they normally take prisoners?
I think the brig is full of skeleton men.
Okay. So they are used to taking prisoners, right? So they have put people in here before.
You think they're just dumbasses and don't know what to do with prisoners?
No, I'm just curious if they put people in here. You'll see what I'm getting at.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so
I don't think they know what they're doing, to answer your question.
Okay, but they have put people in here before, and there's a barrel in here. Is that barrel a toilet?
Ooh.
The Chrono Cross toilet count.
Because if you're putting somebody, if you're holding someone captive, you have to give them somewhere to shit,
Not
right?
necessarily.
Well, you don't have to, but you think you would.
No, because then you make whoever's on punishment that day has to clean out the feces.
Oh, gross. Okay, so it's not a toilet?
Is it opened or is it just a barrel?
I don't remember.
Fake net, what's it look like?
Initializing Fakehead.
There are a bunch of whiskey barrels and casks clustered around the center of the room. On a back table lies a bucket, a chamber pot of sorts, that could only contain poop turds and pee-pee. I will go ahead and increase
The Chrono Cross toilet count.
to 4.
All right, depending on what she says, if it's opened, that is a toilet. If it's a closed barrel, it's sealed. There's no way, we don't have our weapons have presumably been taken.
Yes.
There's no way we can pry that open and piss or poop or vomit or bleed into it.
Yes.
All the things you do in a toilet.
There's also a record of fate in here.
That's cool.
Save point.
Yeah.
And that's not nice it's there.
And those are real in this world again, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
they've talked about them. Remember they were in front of the travel pamphlets in Termina?
Yeah.
People were mentioning them. In my case, Guile tells Surge that he doesn't look so well.
Mm-mm.
He tells us to be on our guard because there's some shit that's going on outside.
Kid asks if Surge is all right because he looks like shit. I think Guile is a little bit more tactful.
Yeah, he is a little bit. Then the seed fades to the outside.
The foggy deck.
Yes, it's getting even foggier, and a actual sick-ass pirate ship appears on the side.
Well, but it's set up as dramatic irony because the sailor is out here by himself and he yawns and says, "Standing watch ain't easy." He then wonders, what's up with this fog? And then he can't even see the water. And then Chris is right. He says he isn't scared, but then spooky noise. An actual fucking ghost ship materializes.
Yeah, it looks great, and I think this is the only time we're going to actually see this ghost ship, but...
Yeah, I forgot about it until you mentioned. I was like, what are you talking about? Real ghost ship, you idiot. This isn't a real ghost ship. I played this video game a week ago.
It looks great. They put a lot of work into it, so I wonder if they were going to use this for something else, or maybe they do use it for something else. Who knows?
Maybe it's just a side, when newscasters are wearing shorts.
Yeah, that's true. There's wraiths, those floating wraith enemies. They kind of float off the ship onto the pirate ship. And,
some wells?
Yes, some wells, indeed. And that goes along with the thematics of the ghost ship.
They look extremely unnerving, and they're swaying from side to side like zombies. The sailor screams, and it cuts to black.
Indeed. Now we're back to our closet.
Yeah, in my case, Kid senses that something is up.
Yeah.
And then a crossbones, a skeleton with a cool bandana, bursts into the room.
Indeed. I wanted to point out here that, well, first of all, it's not skelly. It's just a skeleton.
Yes.
And I wanted to point out here that even the generic pirate skeletons look good as hell in this game.
They're pretty good. They're very detailed. Nice textures.
They're also wonderfully accessorized. It's not just the bandana. They've got some chains and some other things on there.
Yeah, there's some green highlights to their bone skin.
Yeah, they've got a cool curved sword, and they're extremely detailed despite just being these regular-ass skeletons on a PlayStation. So I appreciated that. But I think we just have to fight one on this first battle, or a couple.
The skeletons on a PlayStation, the Parallel Universe sequel to Snakes on a Plane.
Yes.
Yeah, I fought two of them in my case.
Oh, yeah, maybe so. At this point in time, I'm getting sick of Guile's shitty element grid. Have we talked about Guile's shitty element grid?
I think you've made reference to it before, but I think we might be outgrowing our initial partners.
Yeah, it grows in reverse. So instead of getting a lot of elements at level 1, we're going to get a lot of elements once we get to level 7. So right now, we're still kind of in the middle of the game or the early portions of the game, so it sucks. You cannot really equip him with very many elements, and it gives you less options and less opportunity to exploit the various opposing elements. So I'm getting him the fuck out of my party now.
Who's coming in?
I am bringing the best skeleton of all, my only friend, Skelly.
Dude, yes, I brought Skelly later. Skelly's so good.
Yeah, my next note is I hope he doesn't suck because I love Skelly.
My favorite part about Skelly is at some point he gets a level 6 tech called Juggler Vein.
Well, Juggler Vein is his 3 tech.
Oh, 3 tech.
Yeah,
but that's so good.
Yeah.
What a great pun.
It's great.
He's a juggler.
It's super great. So I was hoping that Skelly would have some unique dialogue here because he's also an undead creature.
Yeah, I mean, if you're bringing a skeleton to fight skeletons, you want someone to address this, right?
Yes. So then we're on to the sort of the proper dungeon portion of this particular episode of Chrono Cross,
New
right?
music.
Indeed.
It's called Ghost Ship.
Indeed. In my case, it is also called Ghost Ship.
I have a description as creepy, amusing piano, percussion, sneak and mix.
That works. Yeah, I agree with that.
So now we're on below deck.
Yeah.
There's a hallway. A pirate is laid the fuck out. He's glad we're all right. Kid rebuffs him, stating, of course, she is all right.
So Kid just says, of course she's all right?
Yeah.
Like generic dialogue? Okay, so Skelly does have unique dialogue.
Okay.
Skelly retorts, nyak, 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 nyak. I'm the bone. Anyway, tell us what's going on here.
I hope he greets everyone new like that. Nyuk, 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 I'm the bone.
I don't know. That's the only thing. I think it's the only unique thing he had here. But
if you see either I or Chris in public, that's the secret handshake.
Indeed, yes. So now we're in a series of hallways and doors, basically. The same as Viper Manor almost.
Yes. Very, very small real estate for this big pirate ship.
Yes.
The east door is locked. Apparently we need a key, and the key responsibility is taken very seriously among pirates.
Yes. There's
Chris,
a code.
Yeah, but let's talk about logistics here. Big wooden boats catch on fire and sink a whole bunch, right?
Yeah.
So locking all of your crew below deck for no reason seems bad, especially when it's been infiltrated by walking skeletons.
Yes.
Okay, just want to acknowledge that.
Yeah, I agree with you, yeah.
All right, so next, we go down the hallway, and there's a pirate out here straight up fighting a skeleton.
Yeah.
And all the fights here with crossbones and wraiths. I saved this man, and he tells me he did not ask for my help.
Yeah.
And then did you go in the side room?
I did.
It's a bunch of desks and some parchment, possibly a map-making room.
Yes.
Cartography office. There's a pirate in here looking at a crossbones, looking out a window. He asks how we got out, then says this sucker is his. Then it fights him, and we get into a fight. After I beat it, I found an aqua ball element in a chest.
Yes. Aqua Ball is actually pretty good later in this game.
If you come back to this guy after you eventually find the key, he will give you some iron.
Oh, I did not know that.
He's like, I'm very impressed. You can have this. I don't need it.
Good job. We live by a code of the key.
So as we go down these halls, wraiths keep materializing.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost the random battles have been inserted into this game.
Yeah.
In your case here, were you feeling like Surge is way too powerful?
Yeah.
Surge was owning everything here. Maybe it's an element thing.
Yeah.
The black-white, because all these things are black elements. I'm not sure. But he was just wrecking.
I mean, I mostly rely on physicals, at least for the first round of attacks, and he's still chewing through these dudes.
Yeah,
like, I had
that's
no
true.
trouble with any of this.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
I guess, I assumed the game wants you to have all iron gear here, but I suppose if you don't know what you're doing, you're still rolling with maybe even default equipment.
Yeah, that's true.
So then we go to the kitchen, I think. There's some guy rolling around the floor in pain.
Yes, go ahead.
There's a bunch of pans, spices, bottles of shit, a cutting board on the bar with food on it, a wooden spice rack, and a very nice but entirely too small for a boat with 20 guys kitchen.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like the size of our podcast room, which
Yeah.
doesn't really play, but it's a very small kitchen. The guy rolling on the ground denies having the key and suggests he is not in charge. Then you leave and there's an active fucking fire in the hallway, blocking my path, and no one is doing anything about
Yeah,
it.
there's just a barrel sitting there on fire.
So I'd look up where to go next. Did you figure out where to go next?
Yeah, you got to talk to that guy and he tells you to go in the vent.
Oh, he just told me that he didn't have the key. So there's a vent in the kitchen. And you go through that and remove the air vent and crawl to the next room, which is the dining room.
Did you kill all the bad guys in that room?
Of course I did.
Okay, I thought maybe he wouldn't tell you that until after you killed the bad guys, but he said go through the vent, damn it, or something of that nature.
Oh, no, he did not use that coarse tone with me, sir.
I think he did. Anyway.
Some guy is sitting on the floor here. I speak with him and he's wondering what in the hell is going on.
Yes.
Another pirate on the right side is trading blows with a crossbone. Neither of these guys have the key.
No one's got the fucking key.
At the end, outside of this hallway, are some guys just fucking around in a back room. It's like a supply closet. They're all just back here doing nothing, smoking a J. One of them gives Serge the key and tells him some shit he already knows about how to get out of here.
Yep.
So let's talk about safety practices on this ship.
Okay.
There are none.
No, there's not.
Put out the fire.
Yeah, no one's
You guys are doing nothing back here.
They're trying to. All of their protocols are just to ensure that people think they're a ghost ship, so they have no other protocols.
So yeah, I referenced the guide once or twice, and I think who has the key might be random. I don't think it's always those guys back there.
Oh, in my case, it was the guys at the very end of the hallway on the top floor. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And there's also a bunch of locked doors that we can never open here.
Right. Have you encountered any deadbeats here yet?
Oh, that was my next.
Okay, yeah, let's
message.
talk about deadbeats.
Deadbeats are diminutive four-legged cumwad things with blue mouth and a skull face.
Yeah.
They charge.
I wrote skull with jelly legs, but that works too. Its eyes sort of look like a butt, though.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. Great enemy design.
Yeah. When it attacks, a blue ectoplasm-looking thing, ghost, pops out of its mouth and hits us in the face. It's
I don't like that.
pretty upsetting.
It's nightmarish.
It's not great.
These things drop iron, though, so farm away.
Oh, cool.
This is also where I first encountered it after I opened the locked door. It was like a cannon room.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of cannons are pointed outside porthole doors. The back wall contains racks of shelves outfitted with cannonballs and not bowling balls. Because it looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
Then we go outside the cannon deck. Some pirate out here invokes the name of Davy Jones.
Yes, I wrote invokes the name of Davy Jones as well.
Nice.
He wants us to try a Soylent.
Yeah, he offers us a special vitamin drink that is Soylent.
I said, fuck you. I did not. I'm sticking to my character. I did not try any.
If you try the drink, it can either heal you or poison the player, so I decline. When I decline, he tells me I would have grown hair on my chest. I feel like Davy Jones was super in vogue in the 90s as like quicksand and other obstacles you have to deal with when you're a kid. Like Davy Jones' locker was something you did not want to find for your seafaring life. So then we go back below deck again.
Mm-hmm.
Who's here?
It's Pip.
Pip is here, and Pip Mario 64 Castle Dungeon rabbits around the place. Getting me into fights with endless roaming deadbeats.
Yes, you've got to keep chasing it around, but eventually it will stop and talk to us. It wants to know why we keep approaching it.
Can't you see I'm hiding?
Yeah.
And the last place Pip was for me was obscured by like a piece of the environment. Like characters have idle motions where they do like a Sonic animation, right? And I could only tell where Pip was by noticing the environment
it's like
changing.
right under the stairs. You can very easily miss this. Pip explains that it's a stowaway.
And deathly wanted to see the sea. This guy wanted to see the world, but he's been walked up in a wab.
And Pip wants us to help
broaden its view of the world.
You can choose, sure, come along, or we don't need your company.
I propose there should be a third choice that says this game has enough mascot characters and that waters it down too much.
As far as mascot characters who speak with lisps?
Yeah.
Yeah, I already got Pashul. It'd be funny if Pashul big time and be like, "Look, I am what you are."
I think Neo Fio counts too a little bit.
Sure,
it's kind of cute. So there's a lot out there. Anyway,
you can't say no to these. I mean, I guess you can say no. If you say no, are they just there forever, or are they fuck off permanently?
I don't know.
I'm afraid to say no.
I don't want to miss my opportunity, so I said, of course, yes.
Pip, join your party. Victory music.
Yes, indeed. So, would you like some information on Pip?
Pip me up.
Okay, Pip's profile. You want to take a wild guess at what Kip's profile subtitle is?
Like, subtitle, do you mean like 3 words?
Yeah, like serves with silent protagonists,
that's right.
etc.
Amorphous, fanged, nightmare.
Pretty close. Guinea pig experiment.
Cool.
Its age is unknown. Gender's the thing is male, so...
That's okay.
Yeah. So,
cool.
Sure. Origin is a Viper Manor lab, so I guess the thing was created there by Lucia.
Mm-hmm.
Height unknown, which is weird because you could measure it. Weight unknown, build unknown, dominant paw unknown, Japanese name, Tumalu.
Tumalu.
Do you know, do you wish for unique dialogue if you have Lucia in your party? And she's like, what's up?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Here's where you are.
Sounds like that would be a lot of work to try to figure out all these little unique things.
I know, but you want these things because that's clearly her experiment, and Pip would know who she is.
Yeah.
Or like if Pip refuses to join your party, if she's actively in it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. This thing's innate element is white. Its weapon is a glove. Its accent is normal, but it has a lisp, so it changes THs for Ds and both R and L for W. So, congratulations, we now have Pip. Did you use Pip?
Of course not.
No, me neither. Maybe we'll do a special segment on Pip later down the line. Or not. We'll see.
What's Pip's fortune, Chris?
Pip's fortune. It's not really a fortune, but Pip's fortune is you should seek the uncharted potential that lies within you.
Pip's fortune is uncharted?
Yes.
Cool.
And Pip's whole thing was that he wanted to see the ocean, so I think the fortune teller is using a little pun there.
So Pip's arc is now done because Pip has seen the ocean?
Yeah, I guess, unless Pip hasn't been up to the top of the deck yet.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. If they're still stowing away.
So when you come back here later, Pip's hanging out in one of these rooms.
Oh, this is Pip's permanent station?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I guess,
cool.
yeah.
Well, that's all I've got for Pip. Then I went to the top deck.
Yes. Is this where we can get to the record of fate, or save point?
I think that's a little bit, well, maybe.
Yeah.
There is like an interim room with
That's
a
pretty
save
much all I
point there.
have up until we get to the deck.
Okay. When we get up here, pirates are fighting wraiths, and they say, just in time, mateys.
Mhm.
We have to fight a wraith. But then, Fargo busts in.
Yep.
You call yourself sea dogs, show some spirit. They tell Fargo to watch out, and then there's a growling sound. And the pirates tell us to go help Fargo.
Of course, we gotta go help Fargo. But a battle just starts, right?
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. What kind of battle did you get?
2 wraiths.
Oh, so you didn't get the tzatziki fly?
I got that down in the
tsetse fly?
Tsetse fly.
Tsetse fly?
I got that down in when I was chasing Pip around.
Oh, you did? Okay.
That thing's weird looking.
That was the first time I got one of those. I wrote down that it is a one-eyed, four-legged bat-like insect. It looks like its lungs are leaking out of its head.
Oh, that sucks.
It's really gross, but it's, again, good monster design.
So we walk over to Fargo, and in my case, he's getting mobbed by 2 wraiths.
Yeah, same here.
He tells them to get their stinking ghostly hands off him.
Yeah, he doesn't need any fucking help here.
He elbow checks one into oblivion, and then he notes that the big one is coming, and he takes a knee again.
Indeed.
Perhaps if we hadn't beat the shit out of him earlier, he wouldn't be like this.
Yeah, he'd be in good shape. Then the artificial camera angle changes a little
Yeah,
bit.
we get some Hitchcock shit.
Yes, and we're kind of seeing the boat from what kind of like we're in the ocean looking
An
at
angle
the boat.
below the deck rail.
Yeah, pretty cool.
It's looking up at the weakened Fargo.
Yes.
Fargo has hurt his arm. He asks Surge to go take the wheel, and Surge can reply with, aye, aye, Captain, or, but I've never done it before, Dad.
What'd you say?
Aye, aye, Captain.
Yeah, we are men of the sea around here,
Of course
right?
we are. We have experience.
Yes. Once we do, Fargo refers to the ship as the SS Invincible, and I think that's the first time you hear the name of the ship.
And he implies that we're pirates aboard it. We are now part of the crew. We're men of the sea, Chris.
Yes. Then he barks out some battle commands, and our boss battle starts.
Yes. The camera pans to the left, revealing a greater canvas with Surge at the wheel of the ship. Edge of Death plays.
Yes.
No, it doesn't. We've heard it twice already. Instead, I am going to play the boss fight music from Terranigma.
Remember Me? A Terranigma miniseries is exclusive to Patreon subscribers.
And as we're facing a monolith cocoon thing that backflips into a blue fish with yellow eyes and gross skin, its idle animation is opening its mouth back and forth. Chris, what's this thing called?
Is this the thing that where 4 deadheads merged into one?
I think so. Are there other deadheads?
No, I'm sorry. Dead beats.
Oh, I just have it as deadhead. If deadheads merge into one, I was taking notes.
Oh, yeah, you were taking notes. So while you were taking notes while the battle was kind of loading up, there was about 6 little deadbeats on the ground, and they all kind of globbed together and
Like
turned
Devastator.
Yes, like Devastator, and merged for the kill. And became the Deadhead. Yeah, I wrote that it looks like floating octopus jelly with a baby lizard tail.
Yuck.
So, sure. This thing's got an ability called Death's Odor, and it can curse you.
Yeah, it opens its mouth and hurls out pink and orange gas. In my case, it misses everyone. Did you get cursed, Chris?
Yeah, I think...
What does that do?
I think
Is that like-
Skelly got cursed, yeah.
Can you curse a skeleton?
I guess so. Now we know. That's confirmed. I don't know what the downside was, though, so I just kept rolling with it.
It also casts Diminish, which turns the field into space and halves all elemental damage.
Oh, I missed that. I didn't get that.
So when I kill this thing, it melts into the floor just like when I kill a fish in real life.
Yeah, of course. Again, another pretty good boss death animation. Like,
Yeah, it's not
there's
bad.
So many good ones. There's
Pretty
some,
good.
Some better ones coming up later, but so far so good. After, Fargo notes that the sea has gone back to normal.
Yeah, all the fog disappears.
Yeah, so he must be able to tell what's going on. It's weird that this thing has not approached them. Like, are we assuming that Fargo had never seen this thing before?
He's a man of the sea, Chris. Like,
Okay.
to me, that's my question for you is this Tuesday or is this a special day?
He does note, I think, a little bit later on that lately things have been a little weird.
Mhm.
And that probably has to do with Surge showing up and things becoming a little bit unbalanced out there. But if they were disguising themselves as a ghost ship, as we learned early on, then they must know about the existence of a ghost ship. So I'm going to assume this is not their first tussle with this thing.
Fargo then decides to tell us about Mount Pire.
Yeah, he's going to give us some advice.
Presumably, it's on the way to Fort Dragonia. It is a, quote, fiery hell,
Yes.
and that we'll lose strength fast without any protection.
Yes.
This can come true.
Mhm.
He suggests we go see the water dragon for its divine protection.
Yes.
Fargo then wonders if the water dragon is still alive, or if any of the dragons are still alive.
Yeah, this is weird. I guess Fargo is very well traveled because I
Yeah.
thought that only
He's a man of the sea, Chris.
It's true. I thought that only the Goldovians believed in the myths and legends of the dragons. I thought that most people were like, this is bullshit.
They believe in them, and Fargo probably has worldly knowledge of them.
Yeah,
so I think your assumption is correct.
Yeah.
He notes that even the sea appears to have changed its nature, then speculates it's because the human folk have come around.
Yeah. Do you feel like this entire scene here where Fargo is giving us advice comes across unorganically? Like out of nowhere, he just starts telling us about Mount Pire.
I think the game decided we need to have some plot and direction, and why not have this mustachioed man tell us where to go?
And that's kind of what happened at the end of the Radius section, too. It was like, by the way, there might be a ghost ship out there.
The lore is not cleanly integrated with the command, so they just have it's like tacked on at the end once they start spouting pirate shit.
Yeah, and if you think about the last game we covered, Xenogears, like the plot emerged organically because one thing led to the next, and until things kind of spiraled into what they were. In this case, we're doing a dungeon and then getting a shove in one direction without there being much cause and effect, I think, from a larger world standpoint.
So Fargo's thing about the human folk possibly changing this, is this more commentary regarding the outrageously detrimental effect humans have had on the planet? Or is this just a reference to Surge coming around and remixing the world?
I think it has to do with Surge coming around.
Okay, because there's a lot of environmentalism.
The environmentalism message is very weird because we hear about it a lot, but we don't actually see the effects of it very much.
We're doing more damage than the eco-terrorists of the Avalanche crew.
Yeah, I know. That's a good point. The Final Fantasy VII, it wore that message right at the beginning of the game. Like that game opened up by you literally seeing energy being sucked out of the planet.
Yeah.
Whereas here, we're hearing about it and we are kind of experiencing it, but it's not very on the nose.
Did Fargo assign blame to himself in your game?
I don't think so.
Because Kid tells Fargo she doesn't need this mushy shit from a pirate. And Fargo continues, in the name of Davy Jones, what have we done?
Oh, yeah. So
and it fades to black.
So in my case, just before Skelly says this next line, I was writing all those notes about how this whole portion feels very unorganic and doesn't really fit in with the larger world very well yet. And then I pressed the button and it scrolled to the next thing, and Skelly said, "Why do I have to hear this from a pirate?"
I love how sassy these people are. Like, they offer no back and forth. At the end, they just deliver a one-liner about how sick. 90% of these comments are either "I'm sick of this shit" or "I can't believe this shit."
Yeah, and I was like, "Hell yeah, Skelly, you really are my true friend, aren't you?" Because you're thinking just like me. Like, why does a pirate have to give us this? Shouldn't this entire episode have more to do with the main plot? Like, shouldn't we be tussling with some occasion dragoons or with Lynx's people or something, rather than just this non sequitur pirate ship?
I mean, it's non sequitur, but it becomes sequenced later, right? Yeah. Like, they're introducing elements to work them back in.
That is true. It just feels very, very strange here.
I wish I had brought my Exorcist luchador.
Yeah, he would have been pissed off, been really mad. So I went back to explore here after we gained control.
Okay.
And there's not really much there. I did visit with Pip, and it's like, hey, I want to go with you. Mm-hmm. And you can, all those doors are unlocked now. And you can go
really? In the pirate ship?
Cool. You can go to Fargo's room. He's got a huge room with a nice view. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't have much to say other than make yourself at home. So not...
Is there any Bart stuff in his room? Does he have maps up and are there porno mags down there? What's he got?
It's funny you should say that, because I wish the S Invincible would eventually become our Yggdrasil. I don't think that's going to happen. Hey, Eric, you want to check in with the RealNet?
Let's do it, Chris.
Okay.
Initializing RealNet.
Welcome, RealNet Tonight. SSD Ninja says, I equipped the Archangel Staff of Nova. Sorry, the Diablo reference in episode 1 got me. Eric never knew that I made a Diablo reference.
I watched my wife play Diablo for about 20 minutes one time.
Oh, good.
On
Great.
PlayStation.
That's the worst version of Diablo. Congrats. Alter Impulse says, yeah, unfortunately, a lot of the characters are so shallow. There's some really deep storylines at the same time, though. That's true, and I think our challenge here is going to be balancing bringing along story-centric characters with us, but also fighting off or accepting the urge to bring characters like Skelly just to see what they have to say, so we can get the best content we can get.
Plus, I imagine we'll New Game Plus some of this stuff so we can shuffle in different mofos for that.
Alter Impulse says, I named him Farto in my game.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Ding noise.
We've talked about this before, but Alter Impulse says turn black and turn white are some of the most unfortunate...
yeah, right.
Our new patron, my friend Dragonzord, which is a great name.
Fantastic.
Says, I was waiting for the fake net to kick in and then realized, oh yeah, this is live. Yeah.
Sorry, man.
If only we could do the fake net live, that'd be amazing.
Choose life, Snake.
That would take significant foresight.
If you weren't such idiots, perhaps you could see me coming.
This was about 12 minutes ago, 16 minutes ago. SSD Ninja says, wow, Eric trying to narc people out. I don't know what you were knocking at.
The grounds crew
Oh.
abusing the pot leaf.
Oh, yeah.
I cut that bit. You'll find it in the outtakes.
I didn't say where it was. I didn't say disapprove. I gave them like the what's up nod when I was back there.
Yeah.
What's up? I'm going to throw this bottle of, this bag of beers away. Thank you.
And also, my friend Dragonzord coming in hot with a good fact.
Yeah.
I got this from a Chrono Cross guide on LP Archive written by the Dark Id. It says, quote, Deadhead is a nod to Zombor from Chrono Trigger. Both were undead enemies battled during a siege and composed of the merging of several lesser enemies into one entity.
Nice. When you said Deadhead, I assumed it was Ozzy Flea and like they're doing a Jerry Garcia thing this time.
Too.
But
the enemy names are very punchy in Chrono Cross. Like, they really go for it.
Dude, there's something in Fort Dragonia later that is my favorite.
Oh, okay. I haven't got there yet.
It's so good.
Thank you to The Real Net for joining us tonight. We appreciate your presence. The outtakes are coming up. This episode is a production of Retrograde Amnesia, recorded on October 12th, 2020. Thank you, Mark, for the intro track.
You're welcome, Chris.
Find us on Twitter, Retro Amnesia Pod. Subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you get your podcasts. More importantly, tell a friend about the podcast. Email us at retrogradeamnesiapodcast@gmail.com. And if you like us, support us on Patreon at patreon.com/retroam. Early access, bonus episodes, miniseries, and more. Until next time, Eric.
Yes, we will kill Lynx, Fate, God.
And now you may go back to nap. I think we actually do kill a god in this game, by the way.
Yeah, it's an RPG, Chris.
Because I've been like a literal god. I've been ruminating about that a little bit, and so some memories are beginning to flush back to me. Okay, I'm gonna save that.
It's a new battle arena. We're on the deck of the pirate ship, which continues to plow. That's not a word.
So there's a tally-ho and a rally-ho, and now we have a jolly-ho and a hi-ho. Yeah, I'm going with hi-ho. Yeah, for sure. So
Sally Ho.
Sally Ho. That might not be a very nice thing to say to somebody named Sally. Anyway, shouldn't this entire episode have shouldn't it? Sorry.
No, let's do it.
So after we beat that battle, Fargo shows up and chastises his crew again. He says, "Arg." Did you already say this?
Yeah.
Okay. I had it.
It's cool.
Yeah. Anyway.
I was on vacation before we took a month break last week, and then I stay at my aunt's condo in Florida, and there is a grounds crew there that maintains the verdant vegetation of Florida.
Yeah.
And I went to throw some bottles away at 9 a.m, and the grounds crew was smoking a weed at the dumpster.
Good job.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Hardcore is what I am.
Nyak, 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 nyak. Nyak, 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 nyak. Nyak, 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 nyak. I'm the bone. Nyak, 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 nyak.
Hardcore is what I am.
I'm the bone. Nyak, 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 nyak. Ay, 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 I'm the bone.